Welcome, Jordan here. In today's video, I want to talk you through the art of being and how we get stuck quite often in becoming. Becoming is this nice idea. It is this thing that gives us hope, but it keeps us hoping that one day things will change. One day I will eventually be. And the becoming gives us a nice, comfortable feeling within ourselves that we are on our path moving forward. But at some point in your journey, you must simply be. You must be the person that you say you are becoming. You must be the person who stops overthinking and questioning themselves. You must be the person who moves with courage and acts as if on that path of creating the world, the reality, achieving the goals, hitting the milestones that you want to hit. And this is where stepping into courage is something that is sometimes overlooked. Courage is the point on the map of consciousness. I'll put it up on screen so you can see it here. Courage is the point in the map of consciousness that gives us the elevation into a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of frequency. It is the thing that separates the survival paradigm with the upper echelons of existence and consciousness that we can live in, that place of neutrality, that place of peace, right? If we go up even higher, up into love. And that's where we can truly, truly be of service. And that is the frequency that is in alignment with the dream life, the dream reality, the dream business that you are aiming to create. So at some point, we must simply decide to just be right here and right now. I'll never forget, in 2022, I had this idea, this epiphany that I was running the wrong business. I was running a marketing agency at the time. Things were going really well. I was living in Spain. Things were nice. But there was this overwhelming feeling within me coming from my intuition that was telling me that I was doing the wrong thing and that I was forcing a lot of the work forward. I was moving things from a place of scarcity. Now, I had to look back in hindsight to realize that, but I knew that there was something off. I just didn't understand what was really going on. And it was only when I really sat with some of these feelings and sat with what was coming up for me was when, after a couple of months of sitting with this, in early 2023, I decided to make the shift. I kept things running in my business at the time. We kept clients moving. We kept things moving forward. But at the back of my mind, I was mind mapping and looking at how am I going to truly step into who I am meant to be and do the work that I'm truly here to do. And then I went on this big journey of closing everything down with the marketing agency and going on that journey of understanding at a deeper level, who am I? And asking those questions. And things were going really well. I was at the 6-figure run rate. We were, doing really well. We had a small team. We had great clients. And I could have just kept growing that. But I decided to simply let it all go. Now, if we were to look at that from a logical perspective, most business advice would tell you that that's a terrible idea. You need to stick with the one thing. You need to stick with the thing that you've been doing up until that point. But we are not just logical human beings. We are deeply connected with the world around us. And whether we choose to listen to it or not, our intuition is always telling us something. And the more that we trust that, the more that becomes the strategy. The more that stops the overthinking. The more that we are able to simply be, because we can trust and let go and connect deeper within ourselves to that guidance, that intuition. And where this intuition comes from, everybody has different perspectives around it. My belief around it is that our intuition comes through source energy, the creator, God, if you refer to that term. This energy is guiding us on our mission. And the more that we can lean in and trust that, the more that we can truly step into the person that we are becoming and simply just be it today in this moment. Because to be it right here, right now, first of all, we must know ourselves. We must know ourselves so deeply that we know what our gifts are. We know what our vision is. We know where we are going. And that excites us, that pulls us forward. That's exactly what we do in phase 2 of modern mastery, because it's so important. It's so important to know where you're going. And when we look at that, and then we have a direction that is in alignment with our truth, right? Who we really are. Not just our mind, not our ego, not what we think what we want because we want to impress people or we want to get validation, because that's something that will require force, and it's something that will be a very drudgerous journey for you, because anything that is driven by the ego, any goals, any milestones that is driven by the ego, will put a lot of resistance in front of you to get you to surrender, to realize that they are not the goals that you truly want, because you're doing it from a place of lack or need or whatever the case is. And that's where the journey of letting go of those things and stepping into that person who doesn't need those things really becomes the most evident, which is what we do in phase 1 of modern mastery. The different areas that we're looking at here, and that art of simply being, requires trust and surrender. It requires you to go on an internal journey inwards and to really uncover what it means to be you, and letting go of needing to know the next 10, 20, 30 steps, and understanding that there's no exact step-by-step system that will get you there, because there is only what's right for you. And that's a really liberating thing, but it's also a very scary thing because it brings a lot of uncertainty. But in the uncertainty is where we are tested with our level of certainty. And the more certainty that we can have that the path is unfolding before us, and the more that we start to train ourselves to trust our intuition, step by step, small things, small guidance that we receive, that we may not know if that's intuition or not. That's okay. But trusting that we're here to explore it at least. We're here to move in that direction, and having courage doing that as well, whether that's moving to a new country, new location where you feel like there may be better opportunities for you, going and asking that person a question who you feel intimidated by, getting into a network or a group where people are doing much, much bigger things than you, so you can expand your capacity to be in the room with some high-level people who are where you want to be, working with somebody who is going to help you navigate this journey, whatever that looks like for you. It's trusting that, and it's leaning into that. It's really, if we look at the essence of what it is, it's quietening the mind, and it's opening the heart. Now, that may sound fluffy. Some of it may even sound woo-woo, but it's not. It's the essence of who we are. And it's very practical. It's very practical. Because when you can trust yourself, then that's when you can truly step into this person that you are aiming to be. Because the person that you are aiming to be in the moment, they're not looking for answers outside of themselves. They're not looking for someone else to tell them that, hey, this is the way, and if you just follow this path, it'll be all good. True leaders carve their own path. There is no blueprint. There is no map. Because if there was, it wouldn't be your unique path. Now, that's not to say that you can't get guidance and mentorship and help with these different areas to help you unlock that path for yourself. But at the end of the day, it is your path. And that's exciting. But it also can be terrifying. And that's exactly the sweet spot that you want to be in. Because the fear teaches us something. The fear teaches us where we may be feeling the lack. The fear teaches us where we may need to look inwards within ourselves, where we're not trusting, where we're not having certainty, where we're trying to outsource our decision-making to somebody else. And you will keep experiencing the same challenges over and over again until you integrate them. That can take some time, and that's fine, because everybody's on their own journey. But if you're sick of becoming and always hoping, that word hope is a positive word, but it also has a lot of negative connotations to it as well, because hoping is thinking that someday things will change, but they won't until you be that person today. What would that person who you have created in your mind, this version of you, how would they operate today? What decisions would they make today? How would they show up? How would they speak? How would they articulate themselves? What would they say that maybe a past version of them would have been afraid to say? You see, this path that you're carving for yourself requires you to be a new version of you that is not the same as somebody else, not a carbon copy of somebody else, but someone who is truly unique in their own way. Right? We're all very similar, but we're all very unique as well at the same time. There's gifts that you have. There's things that only you can say. There's experiences that only you have had. And that's the beautiful part of all of it. Because that gives you your unique voice. That gives you your own unique perspective. That's incredible. So it's time to let go of becoming. And of course, we're not saying that we need to be binary here and it's not about becoming or being, it's both. Because we are always becoming. But the point of this is to step into the person that you say you have been becoming for quite some time now. And today, it's about being that person. Tomorrow, it's about being that person. The next day, it's about being that person. Holding that frequency of how that person shows up. If you're living from a place of confidence and courage and conviction in yourself, that's a frequency. And you can feel that from somebody when they speak to you. How can you step more into that today? How can you stop second guessing yourself, second guessing your next move, overthinking the strategy that you're executing, and simply just show up from a high frequency of trust, of conviction within yourself, of certainty that you may not know the next 10 steps, but you trust yourself, you trust your intuition that you will be guided, and everything, like I always say on this channel, is a growth opportunity for you. So when you start a new desire, and you say, hey, I want to become this person today, I'm going to be it today. I invite all of the challenges. I invite the people, the opportunities that are going to help me arrive at this place where I am being this fully. Because sometimes we need to experience certain challenges, ego deaths, right? Different things that come up in our life that cause us to expand into this person, that allows us to have certainty in the dark moments, to have conviction in ourselves when there is no reason to have conviction in ourselves. And this is where you step into self-leadership, because that is where you start to shift timelines. You're paving your own way, right? It's like you're walking in the jungle. You see two paths in front of you. One has been walked by somebody else. It looks a little bit more quiet. You can see the road. You can see the little meander around the corner. You can almost see the steps ahead. But then you look to the left and you see the other path. And nobody has walked the path. But far in the distance, you see the promised land. You see the hills, the sunshine, the green fields. But nobody has gone that way. Because there's also these trees, and there's some elements of darkness there where you don't know what's around the corner. It's a scary place to walk into, but that's the path of your highest timeline. That is the path of you stepping into the person today to be, because you bring the challenges, the opportunities, the people who are going to help shape that path for you. And as you grab your machete and tear your way through the jungle, you carve a new path. And that path will be left for somebody else. And they will follow that path until they get to the point where they choose to go their own way as well. And that's the beautiful thing about coaching or mentorship or any form of guidance. We start the path for somebody, but eventually there comes the time where you must carve your own path. You must go your own way. And that's beautiful. So today, if there's anything that you can do, ask yourself the question, what would my highest self do today? What would the person that I have been saying that I am becoming for quite some time now, what would she do today? How would they show up? What are some decisions that they would make that would be different from what I'm currently doing? And then with that, lean into it. Understand that there's going to be fear, there's going to be uncertainty, there's going to be overthinking, but you got this. You've gotten yourself this far. It's time to truly step into what you are truly here to do, who you are truly here to be. Have an amazing day. See you soon. This has been Jordan.